Figuring out what to bring with you when you're travel sketching, it's always a bit of a challenge. I think a travel sketching kit is something that evolves with you as you evolve as an artist. It's not really something that you put together once and never think about again. Because as you change as an artist, the materials that you like to work with, the subjects you want to focus on, and even the style that you're working on can change, even from month to month. For me, what I like to sketch is always changing. Like one month, I'll be really into architecture and all I want to do is sketch buildings. And then the next month, I just want to sit in a garden and paint flowers. I don't have an agenda as to what I like to sketch. I just like to go somewhere, see what moves me, what I'm interested in, and then I'll do that. And sometimes the materials that I want to work with are going to change according to what I'm interested in sketching. This video is a follow-up to a video I did several months ago about my travel sketching kit. And if you haven't seen that one, I'll put a link to it in the description in case you want to check it out. This is a photo of the kit I spoke about in that video. It took me about a year of experimentation to put together. And I've been traveling with that kit for about a year now. And the only thing that I have changed in that kit has been my bag, which I purchased 6 months ago. And a lot of people have asked me about this bag, so if you're interested, I will put a link to it in the description. I've used this kit a lot this year because I've been traveling a lot. In fact, I'm currently a nomad, and I'm not sure if I'm going to settle down or continue to be a nomad and keep traveling and sketching and living in Airbnbs. We'll see. So because I've been nomading, I've been doing a lot of travel sketching. It's really difficult without a permanent studio space to do any kind of big pieces. So I'm working smaller, and that just means I've been using my kit a lot, which is great. I still love it. It's still really functional. But after this year of travel, I do realize there are a few things that I want to tweak. There's a couple things that I'm adding and a few things that I'm swapping out. So in this video, I'm going to talk about those changes that I'm making and why I'm making them. In case you don't know, my name is Brett Renee. I'm an artist. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. I hope you'll consider subscribing. Also, I wanted to let everyone know you can now join my community, Adventure Artists, and learn how you can go sketching with me. It's totally free, and I'll be sharing content in there and tips and information about materials that I don't share on YouTube, so be sure to sign up. The link is in the description. So like I said, I did a lot of traveling this year, and there were 2 destinations that I went to that really got me rethinking my travel kit. And these sound like really different places, and they are, but they both presented the same challenge, which was what got me thinking along these lines. So the places that I'm talking about are Japan, which I went to earlier in the year for 3 weeks. It was my big trip abroad. And the other place I went to at the end of May was I went to the Redwoods in Northern California, and I went hiking for 4 days. So very different destinations, but what was the same in both places was that I did an enormous amount of walking and hiking. In Japan, we were walking all day through the cities, we were walking to sites, we were walking at the sites, lots of stairs, we were climbing mountains up to temples, we were hiking through bamboo forests. It was just a lot. And when I looked at my iPhone at the end of the day, we were logging in about 12 to 16 miles a day. And then in the Redwoods, I was hiking every day. So I was out. I don't think I did 16 miles, but I probably did somewhere between 8 and 12. And it was an all-day thing. And so with both of these destinations, I'm carrying my stuff all day and constantly on the move. And the thing is, you're carrying not just your art kit, but you're also carrying things like your water bottle and sunscreen and a hat and glasses. And, in Japan, I had an umbrella and a raincoat with me some of the time. So it was a lot of stuff, and I was just really feeling weighed down. And when I was hiking, I had my hiking bag with me, and it was full of water and snacks, which I need. I can't just buy them in the middle of the Redwoods. So I was carrying a lot of stuff around, and my shoulders would start to ache after a few hours. And, at the end of the day, I was thinking, gosh, maybe I just shouldn't bring my art kit because this is just too much. But at the same time, I wanted to sketch every day. So I was thinking about, well, how can I do this and not have this be like a burden? So I'm looking through my kit now, and my whole thing is I want to reduce some of the weight. So I went through and I kind of held each thing, and I was trying to figure out, well, what's really heavy here? Like, what could I eliminate or change? So unfortunately, but maybe fortunately, the one thing that really is the heaviest is my palette. And I love this palette. So this is why I'm conflicted, because I really, really love this palette. I use this one all the time. I used to use a bigger plastic thing in the studio, but I didn't like it as well. This is just so great. It's just easy, And it's really sleek and compact. So if I'm using it in the studio and then I want to go out, I can just put it away, stick it in my bag, and I've got it. And another thing I love about this palette is that it holds 24 pans of paint, plus you have room here in the center to put more. I have double pans here, so I can really fill this thing up for a trip and have enough paint for 3 to 4 weeks and not run out. I also love all the mixing space. I mean, there's a lot of mixing space in this palette. It's just a great palette. But this palette is tin, which isn't hugely heavy, but once you get all the paint into it, it's pretty hefty. I mean, and I feel it when it's full in my bag. So I started to wonder if maybe I should be walking around with a different palette. So I have this palette. This is a Windsor & Newton travel palette. It's kind of a starter one. Like, I bought this when I was starting travel sketching many years ago. It has room for 12 pans. And when you buy it, it comes with these student grade paints, which is probably why I didn't like watercolor painting in the beginning, because they're not very good paints, but you could switch them out and put the good paints in. So what I love about this palette, it's lightweight. I mean, it weighs almost nothing, and it's plastic. But you know, what I don't like is there's very little mixing space. So I used to get frustrated with this because I could only mix 3 things, or maybe if I was careful, I could do like 6. But then I was constantly cleaning it so I could have room to paint, you know, do a new color. And it just wasn't practical. I just got really frustrated with it. The other thing is it only holds 12 paints. So, and they give you these tiny half pans, which I now have realized that, I don't know if I can get this out, but I can get the little bit deeper ones in here. But it's still only 12 colors, and I like to work pretty much with like 20 to 24 all the time. But I thought, okay, in the interest of feeling more comfortable, could I work with a smaller palette? I mean, a lot of travel artists, they work with small palettes and it's fine. And I mean, I can mix colors. I just can't mix things like opera pink and new gamboge. But you know, if I find that I really want to be using that a lot, it could be one of the colors that I put in here. So I think from now I'm going to bring both of these palettes. So I'll have even more paint actually, because I'll have this filled up and I'll have this filled up, and I can just switch out if I run out. And, or if I find that I don't like the colors I'm using, I can switch the colors too from this palette, which is great. And then as far as the pans, I also am going to bring this, which weighs like next to nothing. It's just plastic, and this will give me 6 more spaces to mix paint. And this is pretty easy. I can clip both of these into my journal, or even just put them on a bench or something. And I also wanted to share something about the colors to bring when you have a limited palette. So I'm probably just going to do something very standard. I'm just 2 blues, 2 reds, 2 yellows, and then I'll probably add a couple greens, probably a violet, a turquoise, possibly Payne's gray, and then I'll see. I mean, you know, if I'll see what I'm using more of and what I'm not. But I saw something, a comment that someone made on one of my videos. This is an art teacher, and she said that what she has her students do is go on the internet and look at photos of the places that they're going to go visit, so they can get an idea of the colors that they're going to be seeing, so they can construct their palette from that. And I thought that was such a great idea. And that would give me some idea of what colors that I want to put in here. And then once I'm there, I can see if that's working and make adjustments. The next change I'm making has to do with my pens. So I have been traveling with all of these pens. I love pens. I'm obsessed with pens. I have a problem, I admit it. I'm still going to travel with all these pens, or most of them, but I'm going to do this a little differently. So the first change is going to have to do with my fountain pens. I do love fountain pens. I've been obsessed with them for a while, and I've talked a lot about them, but I have to say I don't think I will take them anymore, at least for now, if I'm getting on a plane or going somewhere abroad or doing the kind of trip where I'm out all day. Because the thing about a fountain pen, okay, here's what I love about a fountain pen. I love the nibs. The nibs that I have, I can make thin lines, I can make thick lines, sometimes I can even splatter the ink a little bit. They're very expressive, and you can do a lot of different things with them, which is so much fun. But what I don't like is they always seem to run out of ink at the most inconvenient times. Like I'm out in the middle of my day, and I'm in the middle of the sketch, and it starts to act up, and I'm not going to carry ink around and refill it at a cafe. It's way too messy. It's just messy in general, and I can only bring so much ink with me on a plane anyway because I'm sticking it in my liquids bag. So it's really easy to run out of it if you're using it a lot. And the other thing is, it is the mess. You know, it's taking it apart and cleaning it out. It's messy. And the other thing about a fountain pen is they can clog up. And it doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen, especially when you're traveling, because these pens, they come with a cartridge of, I think it's water-resistant blue ink, which I don't like water-resistant because it smears, and I don't like blue ink. So what I do is I get a cartridge to put in it, and I refill a converter, and I refill the converter with carbon ink. This is platinum carbon ink. It comes from Japan. This stuff is great. It's waterproof. You're not supposed to put it in these pens, but most artists do it. And if you do that, what it means is the pen might jam up once in a while. Now, it's pretty rare. Like if you use the pen every day, and if you're not sketching with it one day, if you at least just use it a little bit, just kind of scribble with it for a few minutes, it'll keep the ink flowing and it won't jam up. But when you're traveling, and especially when you're going on planes, there are changes in the humidity, and it goes to the drier humidity, it's more likely that the pen is going to jam up, which means you have to take the whole thing apart and clean it out and put it back together and then put more ink in it. It's not the biggest pain in the butt. I mean, I could do it, but I just am feeling like I don't want to be bothered with it on these long trips where I'm out all day and having to bring it on a plane. So I may just use these at home or when I'm close to home and have them prepared for that time, and then I'm not giving them up entirely because I do have a problem. But anyway, the other change I'm making with my pens is that I want to reduce some of the weight that I'm carrying around. So I was carrying all of these around with me all the time. It's not as heavy as the palette, I think, but there's still some weight there. And the truth is I don't use all of these pens all the time. So I thought, okay, what pens do I use all the time? So I've decided now I'm going to limit myself to 8 pens and a mechanical pencil. I use the mechanical pencil like if I'm just painting, I'll do an outline, or sometimes if it's something really complicated, I might just block out big shapes before using my pen. But generally, I draw with my pens. And so since I'm not using my fountain pens anymore, I still want to have the versatility with the nibs. So I've been using these micron pens. They all come, what I love is they come in different size nibs. So I've got 3 sizes here, a very small one, a medium, and then a small and then kind of a medium-ish. I think this is a 1 and a 3, this is a 005. And then also this Tombow pen, which I love this Tombow pen, and I wish it came in different size nibs, but the guy at the art supply store told me, no, they only make it in this one size, which is kind of like a medium size. So I think this nib is the biggest of the 4 of these. So I've got 4 sizes here, and what I can do is I just start with one. I usually pick like the 01, and I stick these in the side of my bag, and I'm just swapping them out all the time when I'm sketching. And it's kind of fun, and it helps me get the different size line work that I want sometimes. The other ones that I'm going to keep in my bag are my grays, because I use these for shading. So once my sketch is down, I'll do some shading with these grays and then paint over it. And so then the shading is kind of set under your color. It's a really neat effect. This is a Koi brush pen. This one's a little bit warmer, lighter gray. And this is a Pitt artist pen by Faber Castell. It's a little bit darker, a little bit colder. They're both really, really great. And then I have this other Faber Castell pen. This is like a charcoal gray with a little bit of blue in it. I use this when I want some dark space, but I don't want black, because when you put down black, your eye immediately goes to it, and that becomes the focal point of the sketch, and I don't always want that. Sometimes it's just to get a darker area in tone. So I use this one a lot, and I love this color. So this will be a lot better than all of this. And the nice thing is, if I do find like, oh, I wanted to have a lot of pink with me, and maybe pink isn't in my limited palette, then I can just bring one more pen. Like I could bring my pink pen for the day, or I'd have it back at the hotel. So there's something I'm adding, and it's a brush. So far I've been traveling with just these 3 brushes. So this is my Da Vinci Dartana spin brush. I love this brush, still use it all the time. It's a great brush. And I travel with this. This is a water brush, so if I don't want to pull my water out and I just want to do something quick, this is really great and convenient. And then I have this travel brush. It's also by Da Vinci. And I just love that it protects the top of it. And also I think it's a size 12 or 14, I'm not sure. So this is great if you want to just do a big wash really quick. And I love this brush too. But I'm going to add one more, because a couple months ago, I was in the art supply store and I saw this, and I'd heard about this. This is a dagger brush. I've been hearing about these for years, and I finally thought, I'm just going to buy one and check it out. And I love it. This thing is so awesome. So You see it has this slant here. So what's great about the slant is you get this little point here, so you can do some really nice detail work. I think it's even better than this, although I'm not sure, but it's just really small lines you can make. And then you also can just paint this way and get these big wash areas. And it's great. It's a lot of fun. This one is by Princeton. I cannot remember what the hairs are. It might be synthetic squirrel, but I mean, any brand would be good if you can just find a good quality hair on there and you'd be good to go. Another change I am making has to do with my journal. So my last two journals have been these. This is a Stillman and Birn landscape orientation journal. It has great paper. I love the soft cover. It's not very heavy. This landscape journals are a lot of fun. Like, I love that you can do things, like I'll show you this, like this. You can work all the way across the paper. It's really fun. Like, here's another one that I did in Japan. I love, I could do the whole complex here and all the people and really get a sense of the crowd. Or you could even work, this is fun too, you can work up and down in these journals. Like, this is bamboo. I could paint all the bamboo. But the thing about a landscape journal is you can only work in landscape. And sometimes I like to work circular or square. So a lot of times I will carry this and bring this pad of fluid watercolor paper, which is really good paper. And so then I have the option of doing this kind of composition, but I don't want to be carrying two things anymore. I want to be more minimalist and I want to reduce the weight in my bag. So I went and I bought this. This is a Hahnemuhle portrait journal, and I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. I've not used these before, but the woman at the art supply store told me that the paper's great and that they work really well. And look, you can open it up, and then you have the option of painting this like a circular composition or square, but you can also use it like a landscape orientation. You could paint this way or this way. Now, you can't do the long up and down or across, but I still think it's much more versatile than this. Anyway, so this is what I'm going to be using, and I'm going to give it a try. This one's hardcover, but it's actually not any heavier, which is kind of nice. And I think the hardcover will help protect this a little more in my bag. So there's one other thing that I'm adding, and this may seem a little silly to some people, but it was bothering me. So when I was in Japan, because it was such a busy trip, a lot of the painting that I was doing was on trains and buses. And one day I was traveling to Mount Fuji from Tokyo on a bus, and we were going to be on the bus for 2.5 hours. So I painted. And what I did was I had my little thing of water. I had that stuck in the mesh pocket in the seat in front of me. And I had my palette sitting on my thigh, on one thigh, and then I had my rags on the other thigh. And I was holding my journal, and I was just kind of, doing this kind of a thing, painting and going back and forth. So when I paint, I'm pretty messy. Like, I don't really pay attention where things are. I'm moving them around all the time, kind of mindlessly, because I'm just focused on what I'm painting. And when I was on the bus, you can't really move things because you're in this space and it's kind of jiggling. And, I was balancing this on one leg and it almost fell several times. And this kept moving up and down my leg. And at one point, it moved down and I didn't realize it. And I started painting my jeans. And I ended up with this little stain about this big right on my jeans. Luckily, it was just yellow, Aurelian yellow, and a little bit of burnt sienna. So it wasn't too horrible. It wasn't like bright red or anything. But I still had this stain on my jeans that I had to have all day because I had nowhere to clean it up. And, we were gone all day. So I just tried not to think about it. But it bothered me. I don't like walking around with stained clothes. And the other thing is I don't bring a lot when I'm traveling. So if something gets ruined, it kind of limits my wardrobe, or I have to walk around with something stained. Luckily, when I got back to the hotel that night, I washed my jeans and the watercolors came out. So thank you, watercolors. I'm so glad that it didn't stain. But I thought, you know what? It wouldn't be that big a deal for me to bring one of these. So this is a microfiber towel. And I just have it. I could just put it in my lap. It doesn't weigh anything, so it's not going to add anything to the bag. Just put it in my lap, and then I can put things on top of it, and then my clothes will be protected. And I have to say, the other thing is, in Japan, we were eating a lot of counters and they don't give you napkins, so this would have been nice to have to just put in my lap and protect my clothes even when I was eating. So this may all seem silly, but I'm going to have a little vanity item now in my travel kit. These are the changes I'm making. I'm keeping my bag. I absolutely love this bag. It's super durable, it's lightweight, it's comfortable, and it's great for staying organized. So if this thing wears out, I'm just gonna buy another one. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And if you have any suggestions related to your travel kit, I'd love to hear about them. Go ahead and leave a comment down below, and I will see you on the next one.